What's up, dudes? My name is Nick. Welcome back for another one of my music video reactions. Today we are checking out the debut of a brand new boy group called Lucente. The song is titled Your Difference. And I didn't know anything about this song until a couple of days, or I should say this group in general. Just thought that they were listening, just some boy group coming from a company that nobody knows anything about. I sure as heck didn't know anything about them. But that is, of course, until that somebody left a comment on one of my recent videos asking me to do a reaction to them, which I was planning on doing it anyway. And they're like, hey, significant things like this is, one of the members is from, Produce 101, season 2, right? Season 2, and they personally said like this might be the best boy group debut in 2018 or maybe of all time. I don't specifically remember. So that's kind of a bit of hype right there to get people excited, to get me excited. So that's what I'm excited about. So I'm going to do what I do in all of my videos here. I'm going to listen to this song to give you guys my honest first impression thoughts on it, to let you guys know what I like about it, what I don't like about it, or if I feel somewhere in between. So if you're interested in more stuff like that as I cover other releases in the future, then do subscribe to the channel because there are plenty more videos where this one came from. And there are also plenty of videos that I've uploaded previously. So with all that being said, let's get this song started.
날씨가 별로였는지 기분이 안 좋은 건지 오늘따라 없는 웃음기에 내가 뭘 잘못한 건지 커피는 적당히 마셨는데 도대체 무슨 일이 있던 건데 너 때문에 참 미안와 Like my life is short yeah. 물속에 빠져 잠겨버린 듯한 숨 쉬는 것도 절반은 한숨이
This entire the song, the music, I don't know if you kind of have heard this. Up until this point, the whole music track has kind of been like ramping up in like the volume and all that stuff. Ooh. Oh, you know what? The music track in this song, there's a little element in the music track on here that reminds me of it's a Blackpink song. I don't remember what it was. Playing with Fire? Is that a song? I think that's one of those. I don't remember. We'll come back to that, later though. But there is an element of the chorus that definitely kind of reminded me of a Blackpink song. Dude, it totally just drops into like a Blackpink style, chorus. It totally does. It's a really dramatic, to be honest, like it might not seem like it at first, but like the change from that pre-chorus, I guess, into the chorus is kind of dramatic, at least in my opinion. Or maybe it's just dramatic enough, yet related at the same time to make it like actually feel good, because it does feel good. See, and then this is just that theme from the chorus that's being expanded upon to serve as like a little, interlude bit in the song. I like this. This is really good. That was really good. That was really, really good. The Big Dipper. It's the Big Dipper. That's the name of the album, I guess. Yeah, that was really good. Like, you know, they got their charisma. You know, they got the persona. I guess the personality. Everyone's got a personality. Even though I don't have much of a personality, there's at least some personality within me. But you know, they got the persona, they got all of that stuff going for them. They got a pretty decent sounding song. They got a good visually pleasing music video to go along with it. That's a really good, solid debut. That is really, 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 really good. And I know I talked a lot about the song that moment in this song reminding me of a Blackpink song, but I guarantee, I promise you, we will get to it and talk about some of that stuff a little bit more in depth, because in this video, I'm going to try something a little bit different. I think, you know, there was a point in my channel's history where I don't remember if I was doing like a reaction video and then I would stop and then come back and do a little bit of a review video or review segment after I cut in the video and then came back and did a review. But there definitely was a point in time, which was a bad point in time for this channel, by the way, where instead of, you know, doing a reaction video, it was kind of just like a review video-ish throughout the entire song. But for this one, we are definitely going to do something different. And I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to listen to the song some more, and I'm going to come back with you guys with a couple more points that I'd specifically want to expand upon. So I guess you can say it's a reaction/review coming up, I guess, in a couple seconds or something like that. We'll figure out how to transition into the review segment a little bit smoother as time goes on, but I want to try something new.
And now for something completely different.
All right, back for the review. Again, I don't know how the transitions and stuff are going to work. I'm probably cut out a bunch of stuff in the beginning or the last segment, so maybe there's been a bunch of cuts up until now, but we're going to dive into it with probably the big thing that's maybe potentially kind of triggered some people, made them upset, maybe. I don't know. Anything's possible. I've said some fairly innocuous things in the past that have upset people. So, you know, we're just covering all the bases, but we're going to get into the fact that a little bit of the instrumental track in that chorus reminded me of the song from Blackpink that they released last year in 2017 called Playing with Fire. And like, I went back and I listened to the song, and I did from that song for Blackpink, and I didn't have to wait very long because it is part of the whole intro and it is a main theme throughout the entirety of that song. But it's not, clearly what I heard in this song is very, very much different from what I heard in that song. But there is something about it that just made me think Blackpink, Playing with Fire. So that's the thing that I want to, you know, that I just want to put out there. And in fact, I'm going to actually play them side by side, or I should say one after the other, and you can tell me what you think. So let's compare and contrast. Like I said, I don't know exactly if you would say that they are anywhere near the same, or that listening to Lucente made you think of Blackpink, or if maybe for some reason listening to Blackpink made you think of this song. I don't specifically know, but it is just something that I personally heard, and you know, I definitely would like your feedback on what you heard out of that as well. If you heard what the same thing I did, or you heard it after I pointed it out, or you didn't hear it at all and you disagree with me, whatever you think is definitely really, really cool. But I personally have got to say that whenever a brand new group, whether they're a popular group or an unpopular group, especially when it comes to groups that are not popular, in fact, groups that just made their debut like these guys did, if they can release a song that reminds me or that can make me think of a super mega popular group in K-pop, that is definitely a really, really strong thing. Like that kind of reminds me, like, to draw a little bit of a parallel to that, the debut song from 101, listening to Energetic. There was a bit of listening to that song and I was like, you know what, this reminds me of SHINee. You know, listening to that song reminded me of some of the newer stuff that SHINee had released. And that's definitely, you know, making those connections, I think, is really, really good, and kind of, I guess, is a little bit of an indication of, I guess, not necessarily how good the song is, but just how enjoyable it's going to be for a super, super, you know, wide audience. So getting all of that aside, let's get into some of the little, you know, the nuts and bolts and some of the details of this song that I really, really enjoy. And we're going to start off at the very beginning of the song with the intro, or maybe the first full 60 seconds of this song, if not a little bit more than that, because that whole, I guess, I don't even know if you would really consider the fact that they had an intro. I don't remember specifically. I got to go back and listen to it a little bit more, even though I already did. But, you know, to be completely honest, I didn't go all the way back to the very beginning of the song every single time that I replayed it. But from the very beginning of the music to about 60 seconds or maybe 90 seconds even at a very extreme range, the entire song, or the entire music track, it kind of starts off, you know, at a low point and just kind of like gradually builds itself up, and it ramps up until you get to the pre-chorus part of the song, which then, you know, is where like where the song is supposed to be, as far as like the vibe and the intensity and the energy levels of it. Now, it's not like a dramatic, you know, sort of ramp up or a dramatic build up. It's definitely something that I think is really, really subtle. And again, maybe some of you are going to go back and listen to it, and you're gonna be like, Nick, I don't really hear that buildup that you're talking about. But I think that's fair. You know, maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe it, you know, that's definitely a possibility. But, you know, I heard that. I really, really like that. I really, 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 really do enjoy when, you know, songs take a little bit of time to really get going. You know, as much as I like a song that from the very first beat of the song is immediately into it, you are like, you know, elbow deep in this song, and it just is going. You cannot stop it. It definitely is really, really good and super, super satisfying to listen to a song for, you know, a full minute before you actually get the payoff of the song in its full glory. There's something about that I really, really like. It's a little bit satisfying to kind of have to wait and have a little bit of patience before you get the, you know, the product or the thing, the moment in the song that you're waiting for, which is really, really good. And the first verse is actually, I think, really the only, or I should say the comparing the first verse to the second verse, they're at slightly different levels, I think, as far as, you know, the energy and the intensity of them. Now they're super, you know, relatively low intensity and energy wise, but, you know, the difference is just a little bit. You know, you go through that first verse, you're building up, and then you get the pre-chorus, and then the chorus, and then the verses, you're back down. But the second verse is a little bit above where the first verse ended, which I think is really, really nice. And my third and final point that I want to discuss is, as kind of, you know, which I think is a good transition, that whole verse builds into the whole pre-chorus, which is actually, I think for me, it's a little bit of an interesting sort of, you know, structure, because if it kind of is a little bit, you take a music track and the music track and the vocal track, and you kind of compare how they sort of, you know, start off as far as like energy and intensity levels. You know, the pre-chorus starts off in where all of the energy and the aggressive feeling is coming from the vocals, and then you kind of transition that into where that's coming from the music track at the beginning, you know, so it kind of, at some point in the middle, it kind of switches, and then it just dumps you into the chorus, which is really, really cool. It's definitely different. The whole, you know, consistent, intense feeling of the pre-chorus that builds you up into that sets you up to, you know, builds up your anticipation for what the chorus is. The energy and the intensity and the feel and what's kind of building up that I guess that, I don't want to say anxiety, but, you know, that anticipation of what the payoff is going to be from listening to it. All of that feel for the first bit is coming from the vocals, from the way that the vocals flow and the energy behind the vocals, to just the fact that, you know, the music track for the final, you know, half of that pre-chorus is actually just, you know, building up and building up and building up, you know, in intensity with the whole drum thing that's going on in there. So that's something that is really, really cool. And then it drops you into the chorus, which is a little bit less of, you know, it's not really a super, you know, intense and crazy, you know, super impactful sort of, you know, song. It doesn't really rely on on energy to create an impact and leave a mark, but really more a little bit on like the melody and just the flow of this and the sound of the song and the vocals and stuff like that to actually be the thing that catches your attention, which is really good. I think the chorus and the verses are, you know, relatively on the same level as far as, you know, their you know, intensity and their energy levels. And the highest point in the entire song, I would have to say, is those little pre-chorus transitions from the verse into the chorus, which I think is really, really fantastic. So that's what I got. Those are my final points, my final thoughts. I think this video might be very, very long, maybe 15 minutes long. I do, I guess, apologize for that maybe, but, you know, if I'm going to continue doing videos like this, then they are definitely going to be a little bit longer than, you know, my 10-minute or so reaction videos. So if you want more videos like this, then definitely leave a comment down below with you know, to let me know that you liked it or any sort of changes and tweaks that you potentially would like to see from it. And if you would like me to stop, then also that's perfectly fine too. Tell me to stop, and, you know, I will take all of your feedback and stuff like that into consideration. And of course, share what you guys think about this song. So let me know your thoughts down below, whether you like it, whether you love it, whether you hate it, whether you love it, hate it, or you're somewhere in between. Doesn't matter, because we're trying to build a community here that is all about having some free and open discussion, no matter what we think. So if you're interested in joining that community, click the subscribe button down below, of course, and click on the bell icon to turn on notifications to make sure that you do not miss a single video that I upload onto YouTube. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.